In this episode, I'm going to be cutting, raking, and baling my grass fields to turn them into silage, and I'm going to be wrapping everything up for the wintertime that's quickly approaching. I'm John Clay, and you're watching The Gaming Rancher. Let's get into it. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. The month right now is November, and my grass fields are now completely grown and are ready to harvest. So this is the first field by my farm that's right next to me. I'm going to go across the road and see that field. They both should be ready. Let's see here. Yeah, so they're both completely grown. Let me get out and look around. Yeah, so that is grown. So with these two grown, I need to go ahead and get all the machinery needed to harvest all this, turn into silage bales, and transport it to my farm to store while they ferment, and then eventually take those to sell them. So right now I'm going to go look at machinery I need to get that all done. So silage is a bit more complicated to harvest and store than other grain crops like wheat, canola, and soybeans. Whereas those grain crops, you would harvest them with a combine, dump them in a grain cart, and transport them to your silo or your sell location. With silage, you need to go through with a mower, cut it all down. Then you need to swathe it into rows, and then go over it with your baler, bale it, and then wrap it in the silage wrapper. And then transport all the bales off of the field, and I'm going to be sticking them all right here on this empty lot to store while they ferment, and then transport the bales to the sell location. So it's a bit more involved, so I'll try to explain things as I go so that it makes sense. All right, so I called up the dealership. They're setting out all the equipment that I need. I'm going to go, let me see, I'm going to get in this Challenger, go park this grain drill, and then me, Jeremy, and Ben are going to ride up there. I'm going to be in my tractor, Ben's going to be in the other tractor, Jeremy's going to drive his truck, and we're all going to go up there and grab the machinery and bring it back to the farm, and I will show you guys each piece of machinery back on the farm, explain what it does, and go over it then. So I will get back to you at that time. All right, so we're back at the farm. This is all the equipment we just got down here. This is the mower. It's about 7.5 meters wide. This will be what cuts all the grass and lays it out on the field. Right here is the windrower. This will take all the rows I make with the cutter and condense them into a single windrow for the baler to pick up. And over here is the baler. The baler is what takes all the grass on the ground and rolls it into a tightly packed bale, wrapping it in twine. And then this baler, to make silage, will put it in the silage bag, which is this foil-like material that the bales get wrapped in, to enable them to ferment into silage. So there's the bale. And then behind me over here is my auto bale transport trailer. So there's this arm that'll swing down, and you'll drive the tractor with the trailer into a bale, and it'll shove the bale in, and it'll pick the bale up and drop it on the wagon, and this bar here will push them back, and you can fit up to 24 bales on this trailer, and it'll also unload them all right where I want them in nice, neat rows. So that's all the equipment. I've spent about $240,000 buying all that. But the investment will be worth it, and I will show you how much I make at the end of the harvest. So anyway, right now I'm going to get in the mower and go ahead and cut this field and the field across the street. I'm going to have Ben follow me in the windrower once I'm done with the field. He's going to do that behind me. Then I'll go back with the baler and the loading wagon, and we'll get these fields all done. All right, I'm cutting this field. That's what it looks like behind me. I'll come to a turn. So when cutting grass and hay and all that, when you go around a corner, it does not cut it as well, just because of your turning radius and how that all works out. So what people usually do is you'll go around the field in a circular way, and then you'll go back and cut the corners So you'll run diagonally across the field from corner to corner to go ahead and get that all cut. That's usually how people do that, and it's the most effective way. So I debated whether getting the smaller cutter. There's a 3.5 meter wide that they had, but just the time it takes to cut, you know, if you have an implement that's half the width, it's going to take about twice as long. So I went ahead and bought the bigger one, just knowing that my investment will be worth it. It just might take a little longer to get that money back. I'm going to get a couple of passes in before I tell Ben to get on the windrower and come behind me. Right now he's greasing it up because the windrower was used, or all this machinery is used except for the baler. So he's making sure there's enough grease and enough air in the tires. He's just getting that all prepped right now. This will probably be the last harvest before winter. It's late November. I'm not going to get another cutting in this year. But with enough rain, I could get up to 4 cuttings a year in this part of the country. So while some other crops like soybeans might give you more profit per acre in a harvest, just being able to do grass that often makes it far more profitable, just more labor intensive for the harvesting stage anyway. Alright, as I'm finishing this field, now I'm going to cut the corners. So as you can see, I'm going diagonal out to the corner of the field, cutting most of this grass here. Now I am at the end. I'm going to lift the mower and turn around and go back the other side of that. And just trying to cut the grass that I missed going around in the circular pattern. And just like that, the first field is done. I'm going to head across the way and go ahead and cut the second field while Ben windrows this one. The mower seems to be working just fine. Some of the teeth are worn out and will need to be replaced before the next harvest. But right now, it is really cutting okay. So no issues there. Alright, so all the mowing is now done. Honestly went by a lot quicker than I was anticipating. So in the future, I may be looking at buying a couple of additional fields. There's 3 to the northeast of my current property that are pretty sizable. I think it's about $500,000 for all 3. So I might look at investing in those and merging them into one and planting more grass there. So I will just have to see if that's something I want to do. Kind of want to get a couple of harvests in to get more capital going. But anyway, Ben is windrowing this field still, so I'm going to follow him in the baler and try to get this baled up. Because I know baling usually takes about twice as long as cutting it or raking it with the size machinery I have. So I'm going to get started on that, and yeah, it's going to be good. Okay, I'll turn on the baler and lower the pickup, which is the bottom part that will actually pick up the grass and shove it into the baler, which puts little tines under there. Now I will just start going. So it'll start beeping at me when I'm almost full, so I'll stop, let it unload, and wrap it, and then it'll automatically drop off. Alright, so it just left the baler and sitting on the back of it where it will get wrapped in the silage wrapper. So I just go along and keep doing that. You can see the bales out there behind me. Alright, I'm 1 lap around the field, and I've got about 10 bales done, another half being rolled in the baler right now. Looks like Ben is just about done. As soon as he's done, I'm sending him across the way just to stay ahead of me to rake that field over there. Here you can see the bale is being wrapped right now. It gets pushed back, and then wrapped in the silage wrapper. And then it'll get kicked off the back into the field. Just like that. Alright, this is the last pass of this field. Looks like I got, well, including this bale, I got 46. So that is just, I guessed it was going to be about 45, so I was just about right on. I'm going to drive over to that next field and get going over there. This field it's roughly the same size. I bet I'll get about 50 bales out of this one. Time will tell, though. Ben's finished up raking. He's taking that tractor and the rake back to the farm. And he's going to be done for the day because I don't have any more work that he needs to do. So I'm just going to finish up this baling. Then I get to transport this all and set it at my farm. Alright, that was the last bale, and that brings it up to 76 in total, with the 46 from the other field, and about 30 on this field. So a little less than I was hoping, but that'll be just fine. I'm going to go park this baler in the barn until the next harvest, because I will not be needing it anymore. Alright, I've got this trailer in operating position with that arm down. So what I'll do is I'll pull alongside a bale. That arm will pick it up and load it on the trailer just like that. It'll be a piece of cake to get all these bales up off the ground. Alright, my trailer is now full. It's got 24 bales on it back there. There it goes. It's tipping all the bales back. Now it's shoving them all forward. And then they'll all be stacked up nicely, ready to ferment, and later be transported. And there we go. First stack of bales. I think I could go out, probably 2 wide. And then I could just keep stacking them and stacking them. I could probably fit 500 bales on this lot. Not that I'm going to have that many bales from this harvest, but I could. I could store them if I don't need them sold right away. Now I'm going to go get the rest of the bales and get all of those loaded up and then unloaded on this lot to wait. Alright, second load full. Go unload this now. The third and final full load is done. I'm gonna go drop these off and then come back for the last 4 or so bales that are in the field. That will wrap up hauling all this grass out of these fields. There's all the bales from this harvest. Simple stack up 2 loads end to end here. And then here's 1 load and then the 3 extra right here. These will get to fermenting and I'll go and sell these once they are silage and when the prices are good. Alright, just got all the machinery put away. I've got the baler and the rake over here on the far side of the barn. Got my little grain wagon there. I put the mower in that shed across the way over there by my truck, moved the cultivator over, and went ahead and parked the transporting trailer inside the barn. Don't really want that getting wet or anything. It's probably, besides the baler, it's probably one of the most expensive pieces of equipment. And I'm putting the tractors in here. I've got the grain drill parked in front of that, door over there. I'm gonna need to move that because that's just in the way. But for now, that's good. It's only about 4:30 in the afternoon, but I got up early, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the hay. See what I did there? Hit the hay. You know, because it's baling grass, and if you leave grass to dry, it turns into hay. See the joke? Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to go to sleep. And then on the docket for tomorrow, I'm going to go buy a sprayer from the dealer and go ahead and fertilize both fields. I'm going to do what's called a split application. I'll fertilize the field right after it's cut, and then about 2 weeks before I cut it again. So you do about, you'll give about half the fertilizer each side. It usually works a little better, depending on the year, just to give it more time to soak in and for the grass to absorb it and use it, because it's really just protein for the grass. It helps with repeated cuttings, splitting up the fertilizer application that way, then just dumping it all on the grass at once. And depending on the rain, it's much more of a safer bet to split it up like that rather than just doing it all at once. Because if you have a heavy rain, you can just wash it all away. And if you have no rain, it can actually burn the hay or the grass, and that won't be good either. So you kind of hedge your bets by splitting it up and doing the split application. So yeah, that's it for today. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. All right, it is 7:30 in the morning. I'm actually getting a little bit of snow right now. Let me turn on my flashlight. We'll see if this sticks on the ground. I need to run to town, though, right now to pick up that sprayer and go ahead and fill it with fertilizer so I can go ahead and fertilize this fields before it snows. I need to get that done, just to get all that in the ground. Alright, I'm going to take the AGCO tractor to the shop. It is a chilly morning. Hopefully I can get back before the snow is too thick, because I do not want to be slipping and sliding around on these roads. That would not be fun. Alright, so I bought this sprayer to apply the fertilizer to my fields. Now there's two ways to really apply fertilizer to your fields. One is liquid form. You can spread that using a sprayer. The other way is to use the dry form, which you would use just a generic spreader. It's the same machine you'd use for spreading lime on your fields. And the advantages to the dry are it's overall cheaper per acre to use that. But the downside is if rain doesn't come and wash it into the soil, it can actually burn the grass or whatever's in your field if it doesn't rain right away. The liquid doesn't need that. It'll get absorbed and the grass will use all of the properties of the fertilizer, and you don't need the rain. But it does come at a higher cost. But I'm going to go ahead and I've gone ahead and bought this. I'm going down that route just for the safety of that. Back here at the farm, I'm going to go ahead and open up the sprayer and get this field fertilized before this snow gets too heavy. I've got an interface here that I can actually change the spraying width. It's set to 24 at default, but I can reduce it down to 18, 12, 7, and 2. I think mostly I'm going to be using the 24. Alright, that is the last of the spraying. That's all done for this season. I'm going to go put this stuff away, and then I will be done for now. Alright, so that is the last of the field work I'll be able to do this season. Got a lot done, got that whole first harvest of silage done, so that will be really good. I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. In the next episode, I'm going to be doing some contract work for some neighboring farms in the area that need help cultivating and chopping wood, just to make some extra cash for my bank account to get me through the winter, to be able to pay off all my loans and stuff. Anyways, I'm John Clay, and thanks for watching this series on The Gaming Rancher. I'll see you next time.